hope that wherever you're at in the world that you're doing all right. I don't know if y'all been picking up on these interesting tumultuous energies that are in the air. So I'm recording this in 2025, January 2025, and there's that 9 energy in the air, the year of 9. And 9 is a really harsh and severe number, or can be, because it's a lot about endings. It kind of has this like interesting Plutonian kind of frequency. And I'm definitely kind of seeing that in the ethers. I don't know about y'all, but today I wanted to discuss a topic that I think can be a really, really helpful aspect to your spiritual hygiene process in a year of a lot of uncertainty and a lot of change, a lot of sudden, rapid, severe change. But not, even if you see this after 2025, I think that this is a really great work, an alchemical process that you can go through as a spiritual practitioner, which is planetary magic. That is why this particular download is called Planetary Magic and You. And I'm going to discuss what planetary magic essentially is, but y'all know how I do things. I'm not going to go the traditional occultist route with it. I am going to share tools and jewels around planetary magic, which can support you with exiting the false matrix simulation, embodying creator consciousness, embodying the alchemist, the god, goddess that you are. That's what I'm going to share as it relates to planetary magic. Okay, so planetary magic, first of all, is taking yourself from looking at the planets as happening to you. The stars, the planets, those asteroids are all kind of happening to you and imposing themselves on your realm and reality. And you got to check your astrology chart every day and see what's happening, right? And we may have all kind of been there on that path where you start learning about astrology and you're like, oh my gosh, like I want to make sure that I can give myself the best outcomes. So you start checking your astrology chart, you start seeing how the planets are working, whether they're in your favor or not so much in your favor. And then you start trying to adjust your reality accordingly based upon astrological analysis. You get to a point in your path, though, where you realize that you're not here to be a victim of any circumstance. And a lot of the architects of the false matrix simulation, they'll make it seem as though the planets are way bigger than you. But planetary magic is taking ownership, or not even ownership, but autonomy, and seeing the planets as residing within you, okay? So this is really helpful for folks who are exiting the chakra matrix, okay? So in previous posts, I have been talking about exiting the chakra matrix. I've provided some subliminal support with that, meditation support with that, and some downloads related to that, all right? And the chakras, I see them as an energy harvesting system. They are here to keep us in constant loopings and where we're constantly clearing things, right? We never are able to overcome certain traumas because we're always clearing our chakras, right? So once you get out of that matrix and that paradigm, okay, and if you're looking for resources related to that, then check out my previous posts. Also, there's some stuff on Patreon as it relates to that as well. So once you are ready to leave the chakra paradigm, a really great thing for you to embody and step into is planetary magic. Seeing all of the planets as residing within you and working on alchemizing your relationship with each planet, all right? So traditional astrology, I see it as a construct to keep us limited, okay? And to keep us in a state of control. If you are following your astrology chart, or if you're unaware of your astrology chart and you're just kind of going within your day-to-day existence, then you will find that your astrological chart will be really accurate, right? Because you're not doing the alchemy to command your own reality. And you'll be caught up in a lot of these soul contracts, a lot of these agreements with certain types of people and individuals, and you'll find yourself at the mercy of the planets. But what if the planets are within you? Are you really at the mercy of the planets then? Or are you able to activate your own creator consciousness to alchemize? And this goes into the talk I did a couple weeks ago now around the law of perpetual transmutation of energy, which would be a really good talk to look at in connection with this one, to get some of the alchemical foundations down, right? But the law of perpetual transmutation of energy basically asserts that anything can be alchemized. Energy is constantly moving, and you can decide how you shape that energy and how that energy is going to move within your reality. And if you're able to do that, then you're able to do that across the board, because it's a universal law. Okay, so it's not just like, oh, you can be an alchemist in this area of your life, but this one, you know, your hands are tied. No, it's not like that. Now, what I will say is, folks who are really interested in stepping into the realm of planetary magic and doing so in a way to transcend your birth chart, then you are, it's kind of more of a intermediate, kind of advanced sort of alchemical process that you're doing, okay? And it's really hard, I would say, my opinion, that it would be really difficult to transmute the energies of certain planets, especially if you have like really hard aspects in your astrology chart. It would be really difficult to do that if you're still caught up in the whole chakra system, because that's going to be connected to your birth chart. So you might have a really big like solar plexus chakra blockage because of a really malefic aspect that you have in your birth chart, your astrology chart. Okay, so you're going to have these constant solar plexus blockages that continue to come up because you're still in that chakra paradigm. Okay, you'll notice that in the chakra system, there's always a color attached to it. If you look at the 7 chakras, there are 7 colors that are attached to each chakra. And if you follow that paradigm, it's going to lead you a little bit more astray. Okay, but all right, if you are ready to try something a little different, all right, and level it up a bit with your alchemical process, my suggestion to you would be to try planetary magic. So forget about the chakras for a bit and focus specifically on your body. So I have a lot of resources on Patreon specifically as it relates to folks who are alchemizing different energetic blockages through their physical body. And let me just take this break and say, I'm not a doctor. I am not a medical professional. You just want to take my words as entertainment at this point and utilize your own discernment with what you do with this information, okay? That being said, if you transcend the chakra matrix, then you want to start working really specifically with your body. And one way to do that is through the meridian system, okay? So you could, instead of focusing on your chakras, you could focus on certain meridians in different parts of your body and see what the energy is doing within those meridians. And then you'll start getting some really interesting information as it relates to etheric implants that you might have in certain aspects of your body, okay? And then it's going to help to cultivate a larger conversation around the certain people that you have in your reality and what sort of programs do those people trigger. Because a lot of times people are portals, they're walking portals, right? They come into our reality and then they activate certain things that we have not alchemized within ourselves, okay? So a lot of this can be uncovered through the genetic path cutter system that I've created. So it's a DIY oracle deck to support folks on their journey to really learning where the blockages are and what can be alchemized in order for you to live your best life, really. You know, I said it before, I'll say it again, life should be easy. If it's not easy, let's find out where those blockages are and alchemize them. If you're finding that you're just encountering roadblock after roadblock after roadblock, then it's a sign that maybe your timelines are being tampered with, maybe certain areas of your body or parts of your energetic field are being tampered with. And then you can, by really studying your body, your meridians, and then utilizing some kind of a system like or some kind of a tool, like some kind of a divination system. You want to utilize a really in-depth divination system Some people utilize the genetic path cutter deck. There's also muscle testing. That's something that you can do that's really accessible. There are different ways to get really specific information, but you want to move past the traditional tarot deck, the traditional oracle deck, to really start getting clear about some of the things that are keeping you in karmic loops or in consciousness traps. Okay, so let's go back to planetary magic. What does this have to do with planetary magic? Well, if you start seeing the planets as residing within you, you have to think each planet. And when I say planetary magic, I'm not talking about, I'm talking about 9 total. So I'm including the sun and the moon within this. And so something you could do, like if you had the genetic path cutter deck, and this has like over 400 cards, I'll leave a link below for you to learn more about that. But like, you could ask the genetic path cutter deck, like, what's my relationship to Venus? What's my relationship to the moon? What's my relationship to Jupiter, etc., etc. And then you would start getting detailed readings about what's going on with your relationship with these planets. And a lot of times what's going to come up in these readings are different body parts. Sometimes there's going to be another planet that comes up. Maybe there's a malefic aspect between 2 planets that's impacting your relationship with Jupiter or Venus, etc., etc. So yeah, there's going to be like different soul contracts that might be running in your field. There might be different polarity-based thought forms that are running within your field as it relates to certain planets. So, the first thing you want to do is really get a look at what is your relationship with each planet. You want the raw information as it relates to that, okay? And once you get that information, you know that you're the alchemist. It's not something that you're just damned to. This isn't just your fate that you have to accept. That's another thing that planetary magic, in order to work it in a way that is empowering and alchemical, is you are not a victim of fate. You are the creator of your own story. And if you don't like the story or what's been crafted for you, you take full creative authority and you rewrite your script, and you know that this is something that you can do. All right. And this is having that knowing is really important. And I want to have, but just for a quick note for folks who are a little bit well versed in astrology and you've been studying your astrology chart and you're just like, man, my chart just seems so difficult. It just seems like there's so many obstacles and blockages. A lot of times that's because you're really powerful. And so there are, people who have really difficult charts are very, very, I don't even know if I want to say advanced, but are powerful. I'll say that they possess a great deal of power. And so there's sometimes, depending upon the bloodline you come from or where your source of origin is, and if you're not in alignment with the false matrix simulation, if they're not like really a fan of you for some reason, then they'll stack up your birth chart to give you all these like obstacles and that kind of stuff. Okay. So, you got to think of this like that movie, The Hunger Games. It's kind of like that in a weird way. Okay. So, you might have more obstacles in your game in order to, quote, win it. Okay. And, you can decide to play the game and do so in a way that actually benefits you, or you can also exit. You can say, you know what, I want to create a new game. I want to create a new reality. I don't know if folks know about that game Minecraft, but there's 2 modes in Minecraft. You got your creative mode, and then you have your survival mode. And survival mode is like really harsh, and you always are like on guard and stuff like that, and you have to, there's a lot of limitations when you are playing Minecraft in survival mode. But when you're playing Minecraft in creative mode, you just can kind of chill. You can create whatever your heart's desire is. So, taking that analogy and putting it into the real world, then you would want to, you alchemizing your birth chart is being in creative mode all the time. Getting out of survival mode, getting into creative or creator mode. All right. God mode. So, in order to do that though, you need to know your relationship with the planets and then alchemize your relationship with the planets. And I'm going to give you a couple of suggestions of how you can do that. So first and foremost, you want to start looking at what color is each planet associated with. So a lot of us are trained, if we're in the spiritual path, to look at the chakras and to go based upon the color system of the chakras and utilize that as our healing template. Scrap that, get rid of that. Start looking at what colors are associated with different planets. Try that, see how that works for you. Start seeing which planets or which colors do you have more of an aversion to than others. Okay, then look at what planet that's associated with. Start looking at your relationship with that planet. There's a lot of research and a lot of fact finding involved in this. This is a great alchemical work, planetary magic, all right? Transcending your astrology chart. It takes time. It's not something that can be rushed. You have to have a really deep gnosis and knowing of who you are, how you're being impacted within the false matrix simulation, what your true gifts are. And a lot of times this takes, this isn't just like something you can just learn in a quick master class. You know, it takes some time, all right, to do it. It takes some effort. It takes some energy to do this. But, you know, you can start learning about the colors as it relates to the planets. You also want to look at what elements are related to each planet, and you want to start doing an elemental assessment to see how elements are impacting you and how strong you are in certain elements. Now, aligning with Earth, they have a good elemental assessment tool that you can check out. And yeah, I think I have like an element. I have like some element meditations, or not meditations, but subliminals. If you go far back, I recorded some, like, I don't know, maybe a couple months from now at this point, at least. But yeah, you want to start really clearing karmic baggage as it relates to the elements, because you want to become really adept at working with the elements, 5 elements: earth, air, fire, water, ether. And then you could even go beyond that. You can add in vapor, lava, etc. Okay, so you want to start really learning about what elements are associated with each planet, and then what are you strong in, and then what could be balanced out, okay, and where the imbalances are. Then you want to start looking at the different crystals that are attached to each planet, you know, and start incorporating those crystals in your reality. And I'm big on crystal consciousness as opposed to buying crystals. I really think that we want to start working on downloading the frequency of crystals into our template, as opposed to going out and purchasing it and thinking that that means that we have elemental mastery as it relates to that crystal. It's better to tap into the actual frequency of the crystal. Okay, and there's a lot of resources online to help you with doing that. Okay, then you want to look at the plants that are associated with each planet. Okay, and start getting clear about the different plants that you might be able to integrate. So if you know that you need to alchemize a certain planet, then you would want to tap into that color, get that color essence in your reality, look at what the element is, look at the different plants. Maybe there's some teas that you can or bring into your reality that have those plants or the planetary elements within them. And yeah, just make it a huge immersive experience, okay? And on top of that, you know, each planet has a particular sound, all right? So connecting with the sound of that planet as well is helpful. Of course, doing a reading on your relationship with the planet. Is there karma there? Are there curses, spells, hexes? Like, what's going on there? Are there etheric implants? You want to learn about the body parts that are connected with each planet, okay? And what's going on with your body parts. Then you want to get information as it relates to what's happening with the body parts. So, for example, I just recently posted a subliminal related to Jupiter, okay? Jupiter is connected actually to the stomach, and it's related to the color yellow. What else is related to the stomach and the color yellow? The solar plexus, right? If we were going based upon the chakra system. But, you know, if we just focus on the solar plexus and the color yellow, and what's the solar plexus known for? It's known for like willpower and self-esteem, okay? It doesn't give us enough information. Whereas if we tap in with the frequency of Jupiter, and then we tap in with yellow, okay? And then Jupiter is not just fire. So according to the chakra matrix, they would tell us to focus on fire for the solar plexus. But actually, Jupiter is a mixture of fire and water. So you would, you're missing the water element if you just focus on the solar plexus and the fire of the solar plexus, okay? Meanwhile, if you focus a little bit more on Jupiter, you're connecting with the planet, you're connecting with a wider array of elements, you got that color going in there, and then then it's connected to your stomach, right? And so this is kind of how you start seeing where there are certain etheric or astral manipulations that are happening within these particular body parts. So it just expands you if you step outside of the chakra matrix and start working with the planets head on, okay? You just get a lot more into that creator God mode kind of energy, all right? And then it's a lot easier for you to command your reality once you know what's going on with the planets and you start alchemizing the planets from within, from your body, from your aura, with whatever's happening with the colors as it relates to those planets, the plants, the element, okay? So your world just expanded a lot just with that. And then the last thing I'm going to say, there's a lot more I can get into as it relates to this. And I'll be really tapping in with folks on YouTube as it relates to the subliminals. I'll be doing a bunch of subliminals related to alchemizing your relationship with the 9 planets. And when I say planets, I'm also including the moon and the sun. Okay. And then if you want to take it a step further, tap in with the Patreon, and then there will be affirmations as it relates to alchemizing your relationship with each planet. And I'll be going in depth with folks around this concept of reverse polarizing your birth chart. So finding ways to change your birth chart. This takes time though. This is, and I've been leading folks up to it on Patreon for a bit. But now I'm finally ready. I feel good about specifically teaching on this. But if you were to sign up for Patreon now, you would want to start more with working on different aspects of your body, or there's a collection on Patreon right now that I have. It's called Crystalline Biology. You would want to start there and assessing what's going on with your body. And then you could tap into the resources related to leaving or exiting the chakra matrix. And I have some resources which could set you up for that as well. And then we can start with the reverse polarization of the birth chart. Also, the genetic path cutter deck is on the Patreon, or you can, if you're not like really into the whole membership thing, you can download the genetic path cutter deck and start fact finding and asking these questions independently to begin this planetary magic process. Okay. The last tool I'm going to share with you around planetary magic and alchemizing your relationship with each planet is you want to purchase one candle to represent each planet. So once you discover what color is representative for each planet, you want to purchase a candle for that. Now, the type of candle that you decide to get is up to you. Some people are more of a glass candle type. Some people do the chime candles or those like longer candlesticks. I kind of like to do a small to medium sized candle because I like to get quick information as it relates to it. And I'll be sharing some tools around how I utilize candle magic to like get information about certain things that need to be cleared and all that sort of stuff. And I'll be sharing that in the Patreon community. But yeah, candle magic is really helpful to support you with getting some energetic information that maybe you missed in a reading that you did or in a meditation that you did. Okay, so utilizing the candle as well as the oracle readings, and then the affirmations, as well as the subliminals, and then having a deep amount of time for self-study and reality creation, like really tapping into the reality that you actually want to be in and looking at your different planetary aspects and seeing the ones that might need to shift or that you might need to shift or transform in order to make that happen. Okay, so that's where I'm going to stop today with planetary magic. This is just scratching the surface, y'all. I'll probably be doing more stuff as it relates to it. Tap in with me on Patreon if you want to learn more, or if you're interested in going on a one-on-one coaching deep dive with me, then consider booking a discovery call to learn more about my 3-month, 6-month, and 9-month coaching packages. Hope to see you on the other side of social media, and until we meet again.